Hey guys, Casey Ferris here. Today we're going to be looking at how to edit a vlog using DaVinci Resolve 14. I'm going to try and take this from a semi-basic approach. So this will probably be best if you've done a little bit of video editing, but you might not be necessarily an expert at Resolve 14. And we'll do the whole thing from importing our footage all the way to rendering a vlog for YouTube. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do after I open up Resolve is I'm going to click New Project, and I'm going to call it something. I'll call this Vlog 1A. I'll hit Create, and Resolve opens up in the Edit tab. Now, if you're not familiar with Resolve at all, you might check out my other video here that shows you all the basics and the layout of DaVinci Resolve 14. But like I said, I'll go over a little bit of it in this video as well. This is the main edit page. This is where you do all of the editing, all of the messing with media in the timeline. But before we do that, we need to actually have some video to mess with. Easiest way to import video into Resolve is just to open up your Finder or Explorer window, navigate to the media that you want. This is the media for my vlog that we're going to be working on today. And just drag it into this window over here. This is called your media pool. This is where all your media lives for your project. It's going to say the clips have different frame rate than the current project settings. Would you like to change your timeline to match the frame rate of the video? And I'll say sure, because I shot that in the frame rate that I actually want. Now it adds all my media here to the media pool, and that's imported into my project. You'll notice nothing's in the timeline. That's because I haven't created a timeline yet. It's just kind of sitting there ready to be edited. So now we need to make a timeline. There's a bunch of different ways you can do that. The easiest way is just to drag a clip into this timeline window and let go, and it will create a timeline. Then you can click on it and rename it Vlog Edit. So now I have a timeline here, and I can put my clips here, cut them up, but for now I'm going to delete my first clip because I want to show you a couple different ways of editing inside of Resolve. So I'm going to double click on my first clip, Vlog 101. That'll open it up here in the source window, and I can scroll through the clip and find the part that I want. This clip happens to be one of the first scenes that I want to add to my vlog, so I'll start with that, and I'll play through it and see what it looks like. Hi, how's it going? Figured I'd give you a little tour of the old place here. Yeah. Nice and awkward, like that. So I'm going to start with right before I mess with the garbage here. I'm going to move my playhead to where I want to start the clip, and I'm going to hit I on my keyboard. That's going to set an endpoint. That's the very start of my clip. And I'll stop it right about here, and I'll hit O for out. So now I have an in and an out. And now what I can do is just grab the image part of my clip and drag it down to my timeline. And here I'll have the trimmed clip. Hi, how's it going? Figured I'd give you a little tour of the old place here. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is select this clip and mouse over the end of it, and there I can drag the end out to where I want. Now you'll notice that the video and the audio aren't linked. So what I'm going to do is hit Control Z and go up here to this little button, which is my linked selection button, and make sure that's highlighted. Now if I grab either the audio or the video, they move together at the same time. And that's my first clip added to the timeline. Now I want to add some more clips because we actually want this video to be somewhat entertaining. And instead of going through each clip and setting an in and an out and dragging it to the timeline, this time I'm just going to drag the whole clip to the timeline, and I'm going to go through and work with it in the timeline. I'm going to hit spacebar to play. So it's one of those times where you meant to clean stuff up. So I want to start this right before I start talking, and I can see in my waveform here that I start talking right about there. So I can just trim this clip up to right there. So it's one of those times where you meant to clean stuff up, and then all of a sudden it's time to do something, and then it was right now. So nothing's cleaned up at all. Everything's real junky. And you know what? I don't care. I don't give a crap about. And now I want to split this clip because I want to cut out probably the next thing that happens. Easiest way to do that in Resolve is hit Control \. That's the slash right above the return key, and that will split my clip. About that. And I'll cut out all of this part. This is the old desk. old desk. We had our computer. This is the old desk. We had our computers there for a little bit, but now they're over here. This is the best vlog ever. I like that part, and I'm just going to move the playhead to where I want to split it and hit Control /. Now I can get rid of this part I don't want, and I can keep going through and keeping parts that I like and deleting parts that I don't. We got some candy here because we're children. We got some leftover art stuff. There's a giant truck driving by. That's fun. This is Danjo. This is GC Danjo.
What's up, friends?
How's it? Another thing I can do to trim a clip really quickly is use a keyboard shortcut, Control-Shift-Left bracket. And what that's going to do is split the clip right here, select this part, and delete it all in one swoop. So let me show you. There we go. This is Danjo. This is GC Danjo.
What's up, friends?
How's it going? What do you have to say to the audience?
Just we love you, appreciate you, and thank you for supporting.
Dan's an idiot. Anyway, so stop it. You're a child.
Casey.
And now I'm just working through my clips and deleting the parts that I don't like. And once I'm done with this clip, I can add the next one and pretty much do the same thing. That's the good part about editing a vlog, is it's relatively simple, pretty much just cutting out the bad parts and keeping the interesting parts. So now I pretty much have all of the good parts trimmed down in my timeline. And the last thing I shot is actually going to be the first shot in the video, which I'll just drag to the timeline again. Kevin, don't touch that camera. I like that. Kind of funny. There we go. That'll be good. Kevin, don't touch that camera. Title plate. And we'll put that at the beginning of the video. And now I can just select this empty space. Just hit backspace. And now I should have a watchable collection of clips. Usually what I like to do when I edit is I edit in passes. So this would be the first pass. It's pretty much just everything laid out in the timeline in at least what I think is the final order. Kevin, don't touch that camera. At this point, I'm going to add some music to keep things interesting. This is just some vloggy sounding music I got from YouTube. And I'll throw that down in the second track. Do a little bit of leveling. Easiest way to do that is select my music track and open my inspector here. And I can just turn the volume of the track down. Let's do maybe -14 or so. Let's see how that sounds. Kevin, don't touch that camera. Hi. How's it going? Figured I'd give you a little tour of the old place here. So I really like this music and I want it to feel a little bit stylistic. So what I'm going to do is have that start maybe after I yell at the dog. I'm going to select all these clips and move them down a little bit. Zoom back in. And just have this empty part here. Kevin, don't touch that camera. I like that music hit there. Maybe I'll start that after I yell at the dog. Kevin, don't touch that camera. And right now I want to add some titles to this. And so I'm kind of playing through and pretending that there's words on screen and figuring out how long that's going to take and cutting my clip to that length. Kevin, don't touch that camera. So let's start with that. Hi. I think I want to trim this so that I'm already pushing this garbage out of the way when we cut in. But the problem is that if I try and trim it just right, it snaps around. And so I can turn off snapping and then I can just cut one frame at a time. Hi. How's it going? Figured I'd give you a little tour of the old
place here. Yeah.
So I think that's sounding good, but at this point what I'm going to do is add a compressor to my dialogue so that it comes through nice and loud. So I'm going to switch over to Fairlight. This is the part of Resolve that works with the audio. And for track 1, which is where all my dialogue is, I'm going to go to my mixer here, and under Audio 1, I'm going to double click on this square that's right by Dynamics, and that'll bring up all my dynamic filters. And I'm going to turn on my compressor. And what that's going to do is make the loud things a little bit quieter. And then I'm going to push my makeup up a little bit, and that's going to make my quiet things louder. So let's see how it sounds.
Hi. How's it going? Figured I'd give you a little tour of the old place here. Yeah. So it's one of those times where you...
All right, so Dynamics is working good. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of detail about how this works, but you can look up how to use a compressor. But the idea is this is pushing up the quiet things and pushing down the loud things so that the audio levels out a little bit. It also makes everything louder as a whole, so it's a little easier to hear over the music.
Do something, and then it was right now. So nothing's cleaned up at all. Everything's real junky. And you know what? I don't care. I don't give a crap.
So that music's maybe just a little loud still, so I'm going to push it down maybe to -20. But I do want it to start loud. So in this beginning here, I'm going to grab my blade tool and blade it right there at those clips, and select this clip and boost it up to maybe -12 or so. So it starts louder.
Kevin, don't touch that camera. Hi.
So that's good, but I want it to kind of fade down. And so I'm going to select this edit right here, right click, and add a 12 frame cross dissolve. And I can adjust how long it takes to fade down. And that's just going to fade from this clip loud to this clip quiet. And it's going to kind of duck the music under the dialogue.
Hi. How's it going? Figured I'd give you a little tour of the old place.
One cool thing I'll show you about the way editing works in Resolve is if I want to cut the front of this clip off a little bit, what I could normally do is roll this back, is turn off snapping and roll this back a little bit, and then zoom out and grab everything and move it down. But one cool thing I can do is turn off the targeting for this track with this little button right here. And now if I go forward a little bit, I can use my fancy trim technique, Control Shift left bracket, and that will cut this track and slide everything down without messing with the music track.
Just kidding. Danjo's my best bud. He makes all of this possible. Nothing would be possible without Danjo.
Now here's a problem. This music track is too short, so I'm just going to grab it and alt drag this out to be long enough, and I'm going to worry about that edit in just a little bit.
Pretty much does it. That's good. Here, you can live back in garbage now. So, there you go.
All right, so that's a good ending clip. I'm just going to move my music to end there.
There you go.
And I can quickly fade my audio by grabbing this little white marker at the end of the audio track and just dragging it in. I can even change the kind of fade by dragging the little control point in the middle. So now I'm going to go and look at this audio edit and see if I can make it work easily.
You know what? I don't care. I don't give a crap. This is the old desk we had.
Yeah, I'll just yank the music here and make it sound awkward.
Crap. This is the old desk we had our computers there for a little bit, but now they're over here. This is the best vlog ever. We got some.
So that works great. If I wanted to beat match this, here's how I would do it. I'm just going to copy these over and boost up the volume just so I can see the waveforms a little better. What I like to do is play through the music and then stop it on a beat. So right there, that's the start of a new measure. And that's the start of a measure right there. And then I can put these ends together. And if I can play through this and listen and not hear the edit, then I should be good. So that's how you'd beat match it if you wanted to do that, but I'm not going to do that for this one.
I don't give a crap. This is the old desk. We had our computers there for a little bit, but now they're over here. This is the best vlog ever. We got some candy here.
So I'm going to save this. My edit is all done. And now we're going to move on to color. That's the great thing about Resolve is you can, by just clicking to another tab, you can get into full color correction mode. And the first thing I'm going to do is pick a shot that represents what most of the sequence looks like. This is a good shot. And I'm going to put a LUT on it. This is our Ground Control Apex ProTune 2709 LUT. This was shot on GoPro, so this Apex LUT does a pretty good job of getting things started. Of course, it's a little bit warm because we have some warmer lights in the studio. So in my first node here, I'll drag the gain a little bit cooler. That'll give us a pretty good starting point for our color. I'm also going to balance my shadows, just coming out a little bit blue. So I'll warm them up just a little. That's a pretty good starting point. I might add just a little bit of saturation because anytime that you adjust white balance, you generally need to add a little bit of saturation. And the only problem here is that these lights are looking really blue. And so I'll add another node here that desaturates the brighter parts of the image. And that should fix that. This is the luminance versus saturation curve. And so the brightest parts of the image are being desaturated and giving us a decent look here. So I'll call this desat highs. And this is correction. And I'm going to try and just copy this to all of the shots in the sequence because they're all shot in pretty much the same environment and shouldn't be too bad. So I'm just going to shift select my whole timeline and middle click on shot 12. That should give us a pretty good starting point for the shots. And I'm going to go through here and see if there's anything that's offensive that I really don't like. My face is a little bit bright, but that's because I was standing right by a light, and there just might not be much I can do there to fix that. It's a little bit bright, so I'm just going to live with it for these couple shots where I was by the light. This shot, I feel like the darkest parts are really blue, and so I'm just going to try and warm up the shadows a little bit, maybe boost my gamma, and copy them over to this shot too. And the first part of this shot is really focused on these China balls. So what I'm going to do is an old trick, old dirty trick, and I'm going to switch over back to my edit tab, zoom in, and just cut the clip there and add a crossfade as that camera whips. And now this first shot, I can not correct as much. I can take that blue correction away because these are daylight balance bulbs and everything looks pretty natural. And as we switch to the next shot, it animates the grade. It's not perfect, but really easy, fast way to do a correction. Same thing, this shot of the desk is over in that same daylight balanced light. And so I can just middle click that daylight balanced shot to correct that a little better. And I can do that same trick right here. This shot's maybe a little cool still, so I'm gonna warm it up just a little. Same with this shot. Try and give everything a little bit more of a warm tone. It's really hard in this mixed environment with really warm colors here and daylight balance on the right. But pretty much everything that's daylight, I'm just copying the daylight grade to. And I could spend a lot of time correcting this, but for a vlog, a little bit rough is okay. I'm gonna switch back to my edit tab and add a title real quick, and then I'm gonna call it good. So on the edit tab over here to the left, inside the toolbox, there's something called titles, and I'm just going to grab text and place that above our video track. And I'll just call it vlog 1 because, you know, I just got nothing going on. And I can select this and move it around, adjust the sizing inside of the title tool here, and we'll just go with something like that. And I want that to come in when the music comes in.
Watch that camera.
Right there. Kabong. And I'll just trim that to the end of the clip. You can actually do quite a bit with this title tool. There's a lot of good features just for the built-in title, so definitely play around with that.
Kevin, don't touch that camera.
Our vlog is totally edited. We have music, we have color, we have titles. Now it's time to render it out. So I'm gonna switch over to the Deliver tab. This is where you render everything. And there's some presets up here in the render settings. I'm gonna click on YouTube and scroll down to 1080p because that's what I'm looking for. And this will give you a good starting point for rendering for YouTube. I'm gonna render this as a single clip, QuickTime H.264. The only thing I'm gonna do to change this, instead of 10,000, I'm gonna do 30,000. And I'm gonna select Add to Render Queue. It's gonna ask where I wanna put that. I'll pick a place that makes sense, and it will add it as a job over here to the render queue. The cool thing about this is you can make multiple versions. You can open up multiple projects and put them in the render queue if you want. But really all it's doing is getting it ready to start the render. So now that I'm ready to go, I'm gonna hit Start Render.
Kevin, don't touch that camera. Hi. How's it going? Figured I'd give you a little tour of the old place here. Yeah. So it's one of those times where you meant to clean stuff up, and then all of a sudden it's time to do something, and then it was right now. So nothing's cleaned up at all. Everything's real junky, and you know what? I don't care. I don't give a crap. This is the old desk. We had our computers there for a little bit, but now they're over here. This is the best vlog ever. We got some candy here because we're children. We got some leftover art stuff. There's a giant truck driving by. That's fun. This is Danjo. This is GC Danjo.
What's up, friends?
How's it going? What do you have to say to the audience?
Just we love you, appreciate you, and thank you for supporting.
Dan's an idiot. Anyway, so stop it. You're a child. Just kidding. Danjo's my best bud. He makes all of this possible. Nothing would be possible without Danjo. Cool. Now we're gonna have ants everywhere, so that's fun. Come here. Don't pee. Don't pee. You don't need to pee. You don't need to pee. No reason for that. This is Kevin. He's a three-legged dog today. He figured he would... Kevin, get away from the camera! He figured it was a really good idea to jump out of my mom's arms and fall 5 feet to the ground. So we got to spend Christmas at the vet. That's right. That's fun. We do a lot of live streaming. So we have these China balls here. We have 3 China balls because we both stream at the same time for heart support. We got the little kicker light back here. Some nice hipster light bulbs for the goodness. A lot of you have asked me my setup for my rig, my PC. Looks like this. That should answer all the questions. Here's the layout of the desk. Got a really dirty keyboard here that needs to be cleaned. Got the Tangent that I cleaned a little bit ago because it was on stream. And the Stream Deck. This is pretty sweet. Has customizable buttons. I even got some for Resolve. I'll be showing you guys that pretty soon. Got our stream cameras here. This is a Blackmagic Micro Cinema camera. 2 of those hooked up through HDMI. Now I'm wearing sunglasses for no reason, and there's some Nerf guns. We got the Halo Needler, of course. A couple different Nerf Mavericks, the best kind, and a So I'd say that pretty much does it. That's good. Here, you can live back in the garbage now. So, there you go.
That's how to do a vlog end-to-end inside of DaVinci Resolve. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. If you like this, hit like, and for more post-production and color grading tutorials, make sure to hit that subscribe button. My name again is Casey Ferris. I will catch you next time.